So now that I have this knowledge about the Superior Court, what is happening all across the country, now I'm starting to put the pieces together. I realize these people have an agenda. For this judge to do what she did to me and to hear all these other stories about what this judge has done to them, it fits right into what is happening across this entire country. I was wondering why during every proceeding she's whispering back and forth to this guy. But when I learned that he used to be a judge and he has 40 years experience, I thought it was very odd that he was her law clerk. When I started doing research on him, I found out that he's the brother of former state senator Ralph Musto, allegedly involved in corruption, taking kickbacks, lying to the FBI. Robert Miracle was a cooperating witness in Musto's prosecution. Robert Miracle is the real estate developer who built the for-profit juvenile detention center Central for the Kids for Cash scandal. He agreed to pay $17.75 million as part of a civil settlement to the children and families harmed by the scheme. And this man, Joe Musto, was a part of every single proceeding. He wasn't just playing the role as a typical law clerk, he was also playing the role of a judge. You can even see it in the transcript. Numerous times through each proceeding, she's whispering back and forth to this guy. To me, it felt like he was teaching her how to properly abuse her discretion and abuse her power.
When I first started in October, I was placed in family court, where I've heard at that time and still continue to hear custody cases, dependency cases, children at risk, shelter care cases. And the difficult decisions are when you have two parents who are
He reminds me of Judge Chivarella, though. Judge Chivarella used to come to our school and threaten us that he was going to lock us up, and he gave some pretty good speeches.
absolutely incomprehensible that someone who was a lawyer and that became a judge would somehow violate that trust by doing something illegal, accepting money for that position. Because I've always looked upon the judiciary with respect. I've always looked at the judges that way when I was practicing. And I feel that the position, for me, I'm aspiring to keep this position. I feel it's, if there's compensation involved, I certainly feel that it's sufficient. And a judge has so much power that it's awesome. And philosophically, I just cannot understand why someone would use their position as the two judges did that have resigned. I assume it's some inherent quest for power and greed. That's the only thing I could think of. As far as where it went wrong, I just think there has to be some innate defect of character. That's the way.
Do you have any people that we've interviewed 4 or 5 candidates already, and most of them say they were shocked so far. I don't be able to say, I thought something was wrong there. Did you ever have any idea that things were as off base as they appeared to have been?
No. I had a campaign with Michael Conahan, and I knew the type of campaign he ran and what I had heard. I was concerned about what kind of a judge he would be, but I never, ever felt that he would ever accept money and do some of the other things that are alleged. I'm not certain about whether they're true or not, but I'm shocked in that sense. And Judge Chivarella, I really didn't have much contact with him. Slogans, and I guess I'm guilty of that because my slogan is I'm working to clean up the mess, and my goal is full transparency. I think the members of the court maybe hear it too often from me, but as far as transparency is concerned, we should open it up as much as possible for everyone to see what is happening in our system. And I think that so far, under Judge Morawski's leadership, we've been doing that. He's been very open with the press, with media releases. I think we need to stay on that track. From the very beginning, whenever there's a question about should we open it up or not, and it's not because I'm just speaking to you, but this is what I believe, open it up. Let's open it up. Let's everyone publicly see what we're talking about. Now, that is an area that transparency, which I believe we've started it, that I'm committed to that. I want to continue working for that. Other areas that we're working on is the assignment of civil cases. And I have accepted the charge from the court to come up with a system for random automated assignment of civil cases to judges, to do away with any possible suspicion that cases are somehow there's favorite lawyers, judges, just to remove ourselves from that. Now, I'm working on that. I'm working with children and youth. I'm working with the domestic relations section, family court, doing some orphans court work also. So I believe that I don't think the system is hampered. I believe I can do much more than a judge who was just recently elected.